I was watching the Dear Mama documentary on Hulu about Tupac and Afeni Shakur. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out.
No, I didn't see that yet.
You know, but as a Tupac fan, I've probably seen almost every documentary on Tupac, and this is by far the best one I've seen, Baba David, because they're showing you Afeni Shakur's life in the New York City Black Panther Party, and they're showing you Tupac's life in hip-hop, and they're really drawing a parallel to show you how Tupac and his mother's life were almost synonymous. Even though his medium was hip-hop and her medium was community, grassroots, revolutionary politics, they kind of went through similar paths. Even though it was two different time periods, you know, two different modes, two different modalities, two different structures, but they had a lot in common. It was almost like he kind of relived his mother's life through hip-hop, through art, what she lived, you know, through the Panther Party. But if you get a chance, go to Hulu and check it out, man. It's worth watching.
I'm going to look at it tonight.
Yeah, you got to check it out. But in that documentary, they were interviewing one of the Panthers, and he talked about how the FBI, COINTELPRO, their favorite tactic to get at the revolutionary leaders was to send sex partners to them.
Wow.
Specifically mentioned that prostitutes, the FBI would send prostitutes into the Panther and Black Liberation Army offices to become secretaries and girlfriends. Yeah. So through pillow talk, and I'm paraphrasing him, but he did say that's what they used, prostitutes. And through pillow talk, they would find out what the next moves were, what the Panthers were planning, what the Black Liberation Army was planning. And, he said prostitutes, and that blew my mind. He said they used prostitutes. They sent the prostitutes, they dressed them up and sent them in there, and that's who they used partially to undermine us. And even with Afeni Shakur, Legs McDaniel, the drug dealer who she befriended, allegedly, he was a paid informant who was sent to infiltrate Afeni Shakur's life and hook her on dope. And that didn't come out the Dear Mama. That actually came out of another documentary called The FBI's War on Tupac Shakur and Black Leadership that was put out by a Caucasian by the name of John Potash, Potash. I once interviewed him when I still had my Dr. Umar radio show many years ago. His documentary is on YouTube. But, you know, the use of sex and relationship and intimacy, that was one of the biggest weapons.
And that's how they did Marion Barry that way.
Yeah, they set Marion Barry up with a woman. One of Huey P. Newton's women they said was
that hurt me so bad when the way that Huey turned out in the end of his story. Because he's still a hero, you know, regardless. And you know what?
He's still a hero. You don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
And you know what? I'm so glad I just said that, because I was thinking about that today and yesterday about you. I said you are undeniably one of the most controversial prophetic speakers of our time. Nobody can deny that. They may find some fault here or there because you're a human being, but they can't deny your contribution of uplifting the consciousness of black people. And so I'm saying, if they can accept that and accept the fact that you are human, then why can't they accept the fact that sometimes you may stumble? I'm not saying that you do. I'm saying you may stumble. You may say some things that they may not like. But what about all the other good stuff? What about all the other great contributions? They just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Absolutely. And the reason why we do that, the reason why we have to throw out the baby with the bathwater as black people, because number one, we have to satisfy our appetite for self-destruction. That's number one. We have a very voracious appetite for self-destruction. That's number one. Slavery and colonization gave that to us. That's number one. Number two, we need an excuse not to be obedient and accountable to authentic black leadership. Black people do not like answering to black people. We need excuses not to be obedient and not to be accountable to authentic, non-religious black leadership. Okay? And the third reason we have to do this, Baba David, is because of our religious conditioning. All the prophets of the Bible were largely infallible. They had a couple sins here and there, a couple shortcomings here and there, but for the most part, their garments were totally clean. as I said before, we handle our politics through the lens of our religion, and it doesn't benefit us. And since Joshua and David and Moses and Jesus and Abraham and Muhammad and Ezekiel and Obadiah, since all of them were righteous men 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in order for black people to follow somebody, you must be perfect. And there's no such thing as a perfect leader, which means black people will never find anybody they feel is qualified enough to be followed.
Wow.
The religion sabotages the authentic black leadership that we have.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And like I say, sometimes it's like they have on blinders and can't see peripherally what's good for them. Have you heard about Jamie Foxx? Have you heard anything about him? What's
I
going
heard
on?
about Jamie Foxx. Of course, there's a lot of rumors swimming around about what happened to him. I don't want to name names because, again, it's only allegations. Some people are blaming certain black higher-ups within the entertainment industry. Somebody said that Jamie Foxx was about to expose somebody, and that person had something done to him. I did hear another report that somebody said Jamie Foxx, on the set of the most recent movie that he's filming, he asked for extra security. They said he was acting somewhat paranoid and concerned about his whereabouts. And they said the next thing you know, he's in the hospital. It was almost as if he knew somebody was coming for him or looking for him. You know, all we can do is pray for him. But, you know, when you get in that Hollywood, Bobby Davis, that is a very demonic, you know, industry to be a part of. And, you know, I'm a fan of Jamie Foxx. He's not the most conscious brother. Obviously, he has an appetite for snow bunnies that I don't support. But by no means whatsoever would I wish this on him. You know, my hearts and prayers go out to him and his family. I hope he comes back. You know, in my humble opinion, I think Jamie Foxx is the most, talented black man in America.
Wow.
You know, I don't know of another black man who has that. I mean, his brother does. I think he does instruments. He does comedy. You know, he does radio, acting. He can sing. I didn't even know that his album was a platinum-selling album. He won a Grammy. I didn't know that.
Why did either?
Yeah, he's a platinum-selling artist.
I know he was trying to sing, but man.
Yeah, he sold 1 million albums. So Jamie Foxx is that dude. You know what I mean? Right up there with Denzel, you know. So for this to happen to him, you know, at such a young age, I mean, he's a young brother, and he's been through a lot, too. A lot of people don't know that Jamie Foxx went through hell, Bobby David. His parents gave him up for adoption when he was a kid. You know, I think he's still trying to reconcile with his biological parents. Like, he really had a hard road, you know, and for this to happen to him. You know, he has children, he has daughters. You know, I just hope the brother comes out.
I do, too.
I think he's a genuinely good guy.
I do, too.
You know, very talented brother. And I hope he comes out. But the longer he takes, I'm getting scared, though, Bobby Davis. The longer he, you know, to not hear from him directly is bothering me.
Yeah, some people try to say he may have been poisoned, and the poison may be getting worse and worse, building up.
God, I hope he didn't make no deals with the devil, man.
Ooh.
I hope he didn't make no deals with the devil. You know, I'm just going to ask the Most High God not to let him, you know, they didn't took Whitney from us. They didn't took Mike. They didn't took Prince. You know, they didn't took Sam Cooke. You know, they didn't took Pac Big. They didn't took Malcolm Martin, Mega, Huey, Bobby Hutton, George and Jonathan, Fred. I mean, they just stole enough of us, man.
Yeah, Malcolm X Day coming up pretty soon here in Philadelphia, Malcolm X Park. So, listen, Dr. Umar, I was just playing a spot by Charlie Mack. You know, they get ready to have a 50th year anniversary of hip-hop. Had you considered yourself a hip-hopper?
Definitely. You know, I grew up in the hip-hop era.
Right.
You know, I'm a hip-hop fan. I have my favorite artists. You know, I started with Public Enemy. And I went from Public Enemy to Naughty by Nature. Naughty by Nature brought me to Tupac. But, you know, and I don't object at all to them celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. But I also wish, Bobby David, that after they finish celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, I would like and I would hope that they would turn around and have a sit-down conference on 50 years of the political impact of hip-hop on black people. You know, after the celebration, we got to get down to business.
That's right.
Because hip-hop has not been all peaches and roses. You know, gangster rap has taken over to the detriment of the minds of our youth and our community. Gangster rap has done very little for the black community at all, other than providing jobs for members of the artist's entourage. There has been no real systemic benefit. I mean, if I'm wrong, can somebody correct me? Has there ever been a rapper in 50 years to build a hospital, or a group of rappers? Have there ever been a rapper or group of rappers to build an independent school for our children, not no charter school owned by the government? Has there ever been a rapper or group of rappers to open up a bank for the black community? I do believe Killer Mike is somewhat knocking on that door. You know, has there ever been a rapper or group of rappers that's tried to open up a supermarket to make sure our people are not living in food deserts and accessing quality food? I mean, where is the 50 years of hip-hop political impact conference?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Or are we going to act like hip-hop has not been a hindrance for the black community? Are we going to act like hip-hop has not taken its toll on us as a people? I mean, it's made billionaires out of white men. I mean, you only got a few billionaires in hip-hop. Who you got? Jay-Z, Puffy, maybe one more. That's it. 3 billionaires out of 50 years. The most influential art form in the world right now.
That's right.
I mean, all I'm going to say is if all they're going to do is celebrate hip-hop, like hip-hop hasn't hurt the black community, then I'm going to say that 50 years of hip-hop celebration has been a detriment. You have to deal with the political consequences. You know, yes, there's some positive in there, but I don't know. These past 25 years of hip-hop, at least the past 25, I'm going to say it has been done more harm than good in the past 25 years.
It has been very detrimental to our community. It's been dehumanizing.
Very detrimental. The misogyny, the promotion of violence, and it's so hypocritical because most of the rappers who promote this self-destructive lifestyle don't even live in the community anymore. You don't even have to deal with the consequences of your lyrics. You know, so I'm a hip hopper, positive hip hop. You know, but as far as I'm concerned, until positive hip hop holds gangster rap accountable, because right now gangster rap is, you know, the predominant form of hip hop.
Yeah,
you know,
drill music.
When you talk to these rappers, they'll tell you, well, you know, gangster rap ain't really hip hop. I don't hear you saying that. I don't hear you making the music company separate it out. You know, there's too much tongue-in-cheek criticism. Stand up and stand out. It's like the old school rappers, they scared of the young brothers. They scared of them. They don't want to check them. They don't want to tell them, hey, brother, this is out of hand. We got to do something about this. Music companies, they controlling the whole show, man. It's pathetic.
It is. It's their 50th anniversary.
Guess whose 50th anniversary it is? 50 years of
making all that money.
Millions of dollars off of self-destructive black music. That's what it is.
Yep, you heard it for yourself.
50 years of exploiting hip-hop culture, turning it into gangster rap, and making these black folks destroy themselves.
50 years of exploitation.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
My goodness.
And nobody wants to say nothing about it. You know,
well, we just said it.
Exactly. Because the artists are afraid that the couple dollars they do get, they might lose that. You know.
Yeah, I think I heard you say that they can't spend that money on nothing but fun stuff. They can't.
That's it. All you can do is buy merchandise. That's it. Merchandise. That's why they got 50 cars, 200 pairs of sneakers. I mean, how many more jeans you going to buy? How many more outfits you going to buy? How many more Gucci sandals you going to buy? How many more wigs you going to buy? All they can do with their money is buy stuff.
Yep, and become billboards for those brands.
Build anything. What are you building for your people? Not a single institution?
Out of 50 years. Out of 50, they ought to have a hip-hop university.
Absolutely. I mean, Dr. King been going for 55, so basically the post-Dr. King era has been the era of hip-hop.
Wow.
It has been the era of hip-hop. And what do we got to show for? What does the black community stand? What have we gained as a people from hip-hop? That's what I want to know. I need the rappers to answer that. How is the black community? Are we better or worse after 50 years of this?
Not the individuals, but the community. Are we better or worse?
Exactly. Come on, man. They know it ain't doing nothing for us. They know it ain't doing nothing for us.
Nothing but opportunity to make more money.
The heart and soul, Baba David, of my message tonight is we are complicit in everything.
That's right. That's right.
There is nothing that happens to black people that we are not complicit in. We're complicit in all of it. Whether we are all complicit, whether it's just a segment of us, like the politicians or the bourgeoisie, but we're all complicit. Wherever there's a problem for black people, there's black people who help make that problem a reality.
And that's why I look to you as a psychologist. We have to be able to reverse some. I often talk about on the show, we have to unlearn those things that we have been taught and relearn the things that we need to know. But as a psychologist, how can we reverse this? What can we do?
Frederick Douglass said it best. It's better to raise strong children than repair broken men. You're not saving a lot of these people because they don't want to be saved. We have certified ninjas in the black community. And you know what I mean by ninjas?
Oh,
you got some certified ninjas. They will blow your head off if you try to stop them from doing what they do. And we have to understand that not everybody can be saved. Not everybody can be reached. We have to find the ones who can be saved and move on. I'm telling you, we got some black people out here. They don't want to hear nothing about no unity, nothing about no organization. I'm selling my weed, and that's that. I'm selling my this, and that's that. I'm doing my robbery, that's that. Don't come to me with none of that black power-ish.
Do you know what I was just reading today about this female, Julia Clarice Brown. She was an FBI informant and was an informant for Martin Luther King and helped to set him up.
I'm not proud.
Yeah, and she said that she's still proud. She said she's proud because she loves her country, and she'll do it again for her country.
And she will do it again for her country. There you looking at a certified African.
But I was going to ask you about Tyler Perry and Byron Allen and Puffy Combs trying to buy BET. You heard about that?
They in a bidding war. I'm not sure where the bid is at this moment. But if I had to vote between the two of them, I would vote to give it to Tyler Perry. And the reason I would vote to give it to Tyler Perry, because number one, he already has, the first major black movie studio. So number one, he's tried and tested, whereas Byron Allen, he's never really had a major industry to the level of a BET. I mean, he owns networks. I think he has the Weather Channel and some other channels, but he's never had something to the level of BET. But the reason I'm going to side with Tyler Perry, Bobby David, is because Tyler Perry is married to a black woman.
Okay.
Byron Davis is not. He has a snowball.
Yeah.
So him, BET, you have to ask yourself, who really owns it, him
the wife.
or the white woman?
That's right.
So I vote to give it to Tyler
That's
Perry.
right. That's like Clarence Thomas. Who's really the Supreme Court justice, him or his wife, Ginny Thomas?
Absolutely.
Who's real Supreme Court justice? She is. She run that house.
Run that house. George Bush's cousin. That's who he married to.
Oh, my goodness.